Due to the technical issue, I am not able to continue with the integrating Artifactory with Jenkins. I am going to cover this topic in the next session. For now, let's continue with the master and slave configuration. So for now, what we are doing is we are building all our Jenkins job in the Jenkins server itself. But let's take an example that assume that you are running hundreds of jobs in a day in our real-time world. So whenever you are running hundreds of jobs on your Jenkins server may not be able to run those, maybe due to the what I can say uh, resources point of view. Your Jenkins server may not have enough resources. At the same time, uh, you may not install all the necessary softwares to run on your Jenkins. If you do, or if you install all those packages on your Jenkins master itself, it may be get heavily overloaded. At the same time, your Jenkins server may not be capable to run those particular jobs. Okay, why I'm saying that it is not capable? Let's take an example that we want to build a maybe .NET project we may not build on the Linux system. Then you must build on the Windows system where Jenkins should be configured on Windows. So that is a difficulty. So your master server may not be executed because it may be busy or it doesn't have enough resources or else it may not be capable. So to overcome this problem, we are going to use the Maven master and slave architecture. So in the Jenkins master and slave uh, architecture. In Jenkins master and slave architecture, what will happen? You have a Jenkins and Jenkins kind of a manager. So this guy is like a manager. He will have the clients. It may be a one client or multiple clients. These clients we will call it as a nodes. Okay, Jenkins nodes. So master will tell to these nodes that okay, take this particular job and execute. Take this particular job and execute. That's how the master is going to manage his nodes. So we will add these as a nodes to this particular master so that this master can instruct these particular nodes. So what is the benefit of that one? So Jenkins server, we are not going to run any jobs locally. That is first advantage. Second thing is we are going to run our jobs over here, and if it is related to the Java project, maybe we can build it over here. If it is related to the .NET project, we can build it over here. And required packages, instead of installing on your local system, you can install it over here or over here. For example, what I can say, we want to build our project with the Maven. So we can install Maven over here, as well as just we can install Maven over here. So now what we can do, our Jenkins will give this particular Maven job over here and it get execute and give the result to the master, and master take a decision what to do with that one. Now again, we want to push that result to the Artifactory. Still we can do that one. So this is the advantage of using the Artifactory, so that your using the master and slave architecture, so that your Jenkins can do the only managing jobs rather than executing their jobs actually. So in our case, maybe we are running very few jobs so that you cannot see any dependency, but in real world we are going to run more jobs, so managing with a single server doesn't possible. Okay, so with that, now what we are going to do is we have already a Jenkins master server, and we are going to configure one of our Linux system as a node, nothing but a client. So whenever we execute any job, that job should get executed over here and the result should give to the Jenkins master. That is what we are going to test it with the Maven master and slave. Say, so let's go back. And here what I'm going to do, I need to configure my slave system. Let's take that we have already a Maven server where we have already installed a Maven. Just think that this is an empty server. So far we haven't installed even Maven as well. Just it is an empty server. I want to add this server as a client to my Jenkins server. Okay, slave, or what I can say node. Jenkins node. This I want to make it as a Jenkins node. Now I need to go to my Jenkins server and configure this as a slave. For that purpose, what we should do is we should go to our Jenkins. So under Jenkins, we have a manage Jenkins. Under manage Jenkins, we have a option called manage nodes and uh, clouds. Okay, so this is the option where we can add a remote node, nothing but a slave node for our Jenkins. So let's click over here, and you can see here we have only one node, that is master node, and it is a Linux architecture, nothing but it is a Linux system, and it is in sync, and the free disk space, this much space is there, and the free swap space, that's okay. Everything looks good. So this is the master node. Now I would like to add Linux slave. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to add it as a this server as a Maven server, but just to treat it as a empty server for now. So go back to your Jenkins, sorry, and we need to add a new node. You can see here there is a option to new node. You click here, and you should provide your new node name. So I'm giving my new node name as a Linux node. Okay, just I'm giving a Linux node. And does it a permanent agent? Permanent agent means it should be always available. I mean to say, you don't want to run frequently any changes. So this is the permanent agent. And we click OK to add this one. So now you can see here Linux node. Now description of this node, what is the purpose you are using and what kind of jobs you would like to execute on this one. I just say that execute Maven jobs over here. Why? Because I have already installed Maven over there, so I can run Maven job, or else any Linux related jobs, any jobs which can run on Linux platform can be executed over here. Next, number of executors. Number of executors means how many jobs at a time over here. Okay, so I can, if I specify 10, I can run 10 parallel jobs. Nothing but at a time I can run 10 jobs on this particular system. Okay, and more than 10 jobs if you are running, it may not execute. It will go into the queue. Next, remote root directory. Nothing but in the this particular system, Linux system, where or which directory should I need to use to work on. So I can specify that /opt. So treat opt as a workspace directory. So there it is going to create a workspace directory and do whatever it wants. Or else I can do opt Jenkins. Okay. So opt Jenkins, and I will go to this particular server and create a opt Jenkins. So same thing, this is a Maven server. So cd/opt. Under opt, I'm going to create a Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins directory. What I'm doing, I have already logged into my Maven server, and I'm giving this as a opt, what I can say, working directory for our Jenkins. So let's go back. This directory I have created. Next, label. Label, I can give something like Maven job. Okay. So whenever you do the Maven job, if you choose this label and you have 4 servers under this label, it can run on any those servers. It can run on any those servers. Next thing, usage. So there are 2 options. Use this node as much as possible, nothing but whenever it is free, execute any job if new job comes, and only build jobs with the label extensions matching to this one. So otherwise, if somebody gives this label, particular label, so only whenever you use this label, then only the jobs will execute on the server, otherwise it won't execute. So that is the meaning of this one. So for now, what we do, we will, or most of the cases, we will use this option, use this node as much as possible. Next, launch method. There are 3 different kind of methods. Okay. Okay, 2 methods. Okay. So there are 2 methods. Okay, launch method. Okay, launch agent by connecting to the master, and launch agent via the execution of the command on the master. So what does it mean? That we are going to execute the commands while executing our job, or what I can say, launch agent by the connecting to the master means we are going to connect to the master uh, from the agent. Okay, from the agent we are going to connect to the master. This one is by executing commands in the master itself we are going to connect to the agent, but let it be launch agent by connecting to the master. This is the option we are going to choose. Next, custom working directory. Custom working directory nothing but uh, in which directory you would like to work. So I'm going to again specify /opt and Jenkins. Okay, this is like a workspace. So same directory I'm giving /opt Jenkins. In this it is going to work. If I give the disable, it doesn't use this. But let it be /opt Jenkins. Next, internal data directory. This you need to use the what I can say, fail if workspace is missing means if the workspace is not available, it is going to fail. But let it be because we are going to create a workspace and I don't want to fail if the workspace is not there. So workspace means whenever we execute our job it creates a workspace directory. Okay, maybe this is the workspace directory over here. Next, use WebSocket. Yes, we should use it. This is the connection, I mean to say network connection. And we have advanced options. Okay, this is about the JVM option where your JVM is there and all this information, but we don't need this for this one. Next, availability. This keep this agent online as much as possible and bring the agent online according to the schedule and bring the agent offline when uh, in demand. Sorry, bring the agent online when in demand and take offline when ideal. So there are three options. This is to keep your system always up and running. Nothing but your client system will be always up and running. So it is make your agent online all the time and bring agent according to the schedule. You can schedule the time. Nothing but only bring the server in this particular period of time. Why? Because let's take an example that most of the developers they want to build their jobs during their business hours. So what we can do, we can schedule the startup that in this particular time period I want to bring up this system. Remaining time it should be ideal. I mean to say it should be in shutdown. So that you can what I can say, reduce the utilization of your system. Next one is bring this agent when there is a demand. This is about whenever somebody is executing jobs and there is no enough resources are available. I mean to say enough nodes are available to execute that job, then it is going to bring this server online. Otherwise, the server will be sitting idle means it will go to offline. Offline means shutdown state. I mean to say not the server, services. But this is a test one, so we are going to keep this agent use as much as possible. So this is the option we are going to choose. And this is launch agent by connecting to the master. So from the agent, nothing but from this system, we are going to connect to our system. So these are the options we should choose and save this. What will happen? It is going to create one node. It is going to create one node, that is Linux node. You can see here, and the architecture it is not showing anything because I just gave definitions, but I haven't configured this Linux node. I mean to say I need to give approval that okay, you can treat me as a node. You can treat me as a node. So that approval I should give. So for that now, and yeah, before executing that one, if you see here, this is a red mark into mark which tells that your node is not available. Whenever your node is not available, you can see this error message. I mean to say error image. And if the node is live, then you are going to see that node. Sorry, something like this. So now let's go back again. I'm just clicking on Linux and it will give the instructions how can you set up this Linux node. You can see here select Linux node, connect agent to Jenkins one of these ways. this one, and second one is this one, and third one is this one. Okay, sorry. First one is this one, second one is this one. So two ways we can connect. First thing is we need to copy this onto our agent and execute this job so that it can communicate. And another way is even we need to download this one and execute this job. That will work. Okay. So I'm going with this method. So first what we will do, we are going to launch agent from the browser. Launch agent from the browser. So if you click on here, launch, and it is going to give the JPNL package. Okay, I just want to keep it. You can see here slave agent.jpnl. This particular pack I want to copy into my Jenkins, sorry, my client system, my client system. So go here. Yep, all the nodes over here. This is your master node, and we just set up the client node. But client node is still not available because we need to execute some commands on our client node. So to execute those commands, the instructions are given over here. So if I click over here, you can see the instructions. Connect agent by using these steps. So first thing is you need to download this one onto your client system. Client system nothing but onto this system I want to download it. But downloading directly onto client system is not possible. So what I have done, I have downloaded onto my Windows system. From Windows system I'm copying over here. From Windows system I'm copying over here. And second, once it is copied, we have one more thing, that is agent.jar. You can see here jar, java minus jar and agent.jar. This is also another file which we need to copy into target system. So here we need to download it. If I click over here, this is also get downloaded. So we need to copy these two files onto our slave system. Once it is copied onto our slave system, we can execute this job. Okay, now to copy this onto our slave system, currently we have downloaded onto our Windows system. From Windows 2 we need to copy onto this system. But to copy this one, we can use the SFTP option on our mobile extreme. If you see SFTP, whatever is available over here, if I go to my home directory, what is my home directory? PWD, sorry, I'm as a root, right? So let me go as a normal user. So PWD, if you see slash home EC2 minus user, you can see here slash home minus EC2 user. Whatever is files are available over here. Sorry. So whatever files are available over here, these files you can see here. Same thing is there. Now, if I drag and drop my files to this location, it appears over here. So it's nothing but this is the CLI mode and this is the GUI mode. So mobile extern have this feature where you can copy your files directly onto your Linux system to Jenkins system. Sorry, from Windows system to uh, Linux system. That is the option I have given by the DevCloud. So now I'm going to copy these two files, show in folder. So I would like to copy them. So agent I'm going to copy. This is agent, just drag and drop, and it is copying onto my Linux system. Once it is uploaded here, if I do ls over here, I could able to see that particular file. And if I do ls, you can see here agent.jar, still it is copying, not yet completed. 21% is completed so far. Okay, now I am copying other file as well. So I just copied the both the files. Now if you see here, you can see the both the files, agent.jar and the slave agent.jpnl. Okay, these two files are necessary to execute our command. Now we need to execute this command as it is. So if we execute this command, it is going to what I can say, make our system as a client system. Now let's clear the screen and ls, sorry, executing. I just copied the command and I'm saying it as a work directory, use it as a opt jenkins. And so far I'm just canceling this command, not executing. If I go and check under slash opt/Jenkins. Nothing is there so far. Okay. Now let's execute our job. Sorry, not this one. So I'm executing my job. Enter. Okay, works. Okay. So what it is saying that I'm executing this job as a EC2 minus user, but EC2 minus user doesn't have enough privileges to work on that particular directory. So now what I will do, I'm going to switch as a root user, or else I can give the access to this particular folder to EC2 minus user. That is the best way, right? So VI, sorry, chmod, chown EC2 minus user, EC2 minus user. Okay, ch1 minus r, EC2 minus user, and EC2 minus user colon. Sorry. So I'm giving access to my particular /opt Jenkins repository to EC2 minus user, and now again I'm going back as a normal user. And if I execute the same job now, I think I can able to access it. Okay, you can see here it is accessing this particular repository, and my slave is working and it's connected. And if I go and check out my nodes, you can see here your Linux node came into the active, and it is a Linux system. It is so this is how we can add. And if you see here, this should be continue to run. If I cancel it, and again the node will go offline. You can see here it went to offline. So rather than running it as a in the command prompt, if you give and at the end of the your command, it runs in the background. It runs in the background. Okay. So now this is running in, and if I go and refresh my Jenkins, I can see here it is now. And also if I go to /opt Jenkins, okay, there is a remoting is there. From now onwards, if I create any jobs, the jobs information get create over here. Okay, now let's test a job. Okay, I just restarted, right? So it got logged off and logged in. So I'm going to /opt Jenkins. Okay, now okay, my node is fine. My node is looks fine, and I'm going to use this node to execute my job. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to create a job. Quickly I'm going to create a job, new job, slave job 1. Okay, or else slave job I'm creating, and it is a freestyle project. And okay. Okay, so we are creating a new job, but this job I would like to run on my slave system. So to run this slave system, you see here discard world builds git project. Like this, you have the option called restrict where this project can run. Means we are going to tell to our Jenkins that this particular project should run only on this one. And you can see here label extension. What is the label? If you do remember, we have given Maven, right? Yep. You can see here the label we have given is Maven job. So we are going to choose this particular one. Maybe we can give only Linux over here, but we have given Maven job as our label. So we should choose this one. Now what happens whenever I execute this job, it is going to create on this particular server. And I'm not choosing anything. I'm going to execute only execute shell. Execute shell. Sorry. So we can do echo. This is a test job, and just to make sure that it is creating working on the slave system, what we will do, wherever this job is executed, under the job server, under temp, create a test dot or demo file, demo.txt. So what does it mean? Echo this particular output. So the whatever output you are getting, this output you need to send, or you need to copy or create a file and copy into that particular file. So now if I go to my slave under slash tmp, we don't have, okay, so many files are there, but if I check for cat demo .txt, we don't have any such kind of file. But once we have executed the job, and if we check, this file should be available in the client system. Okay, this is client 33.91 and if I go to my Jenkins server, Maven server, you can see the private IP 33.91, nothing but it is a slave system. So let's go to our Jenkins. So Jenkins, sorry, not this one. So Jenkins and apply, save it and build. Now I am building this job and okay, build is successful and you can see here this ran by Jenkins user but build remotely on Linux system. It ran on the remote system and if I click on the node and you can see here project tied to Linux node, nothing but this particular one is going to execute on the Linux node and it's executed and this is my Linux node and if I check for the demo.txt you can see here this is a text job and it's executed, sorry, test job, it's executed on the slave system. And if I go to opt jenkins, you can see here there is a directory called workspace got created now and if I go inside to this you can see the slave job because it is executed over here. And if I go to my Jenkins master server, you cannot see that job. Okay, sorry, where is my master server? This is Jenkins master and if I log into my master node, I haven't logged into my master node session and DevOps key EC2 minus user. Okay, this is my master node and this particular job you cannot see in the master node. I mean to say in the Jenkins master, the default directory is where lib Jenkins. Under Jenkins we have workspace. Under workspace you have all the jobs. Okay, so slave job, we don't have any job called slave over here even though we created it, right? Because it is working on the target system. Clear? How can we configure our Jenkins server, sorry, Jenkins slave, and how can we execute our jobs on slave system? Yeah, and one more point I forgot to add while configuring our client agent. Your client should install with Java. If it is not installed with Java, the command what we have executed, this command itself doesn't get executed because we want to run the agent.jar. So this particular stuff we want to execute. That's the reason we should have or we must install Java on our client system. So anyway, it is a Maven server. So we have already installed Java before installing Maven. That's the reason there is no issue. Now, one more test I'm
So,
going to do.
one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Shankar, have you run these commands, these Java-jar and the slave agent files command
Mm,
on the
mm.
this Jenkins machine itself?
No, not in
Yes.
Jenkins mission. In Jenkins mission, just now I connected. You need to run on the agent system.
Okay.
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 So nothing to run on Jenkins server. Only in the GUI you need to configure your node. Once it is configured, you are going to get a new jar file and a JPNL file. Those two you need to copy onto your slave system and run those on the slave system. That's it. If you run it, it is going to get communicate with your Jenkins master node, and from that onwards, your master is going to execute jobs on the slave system. Okay, now I am going to create a one more job. Before creating, anybody have any questions? Slave Maven job. So why I am giving slave Maven job? I am going to run the Maven job on slave, and Maven is already configured over there. Okay, so if I go and check it out, this is my slave, right? So in the slave, if I go to OPT, under OPT we have Maven. Maven is under OPT Maven 3.6.3. Okay. So now what we will do, we are going to create a Maven project. This time Maven project I am choosing, and git URL. I'm going to choose my git URL. So same, or else I'm going to choose my private repository this time. That is web app project. So clone the repository and repository name. Next credentials, I am giving my credentials to communicate with that one. Then we are going to give the pom.xml clean install. Okay, I am giving pom.xml as clean install. And the next thing is, yep, sorry, I forgot to mention the execute this job on Maven server. Okay, so Maven job, this is the Maven job. Okay, maybe I might have given Maven server rather than Maven job. That could be more relevant. But anyway, I'm running it on the slave system. Okay, even I can deploy it on the what I can say, my Tomcat server. So quickly I'm going to specify web app under workspaces. It is going to create target slash star dot var, and container name, it is Tomcat 8, and credentials deployer, and I can give the Tomcat server URL. Okay, so let me access it, but I cannot access it because Tomcat I need to run it on the system. Quickly let me connect to my Tomcat server and start the services. CD OPT, here we have Tomcat. Let me become a root, clear the screen, cd slash opt apache Tomcat. Cd bin and start your services. To start, startup.sh. So my Tomcat is running. Let me connect to my Tomcat server from the browser. Sorry, 8080, right? So I'm connecting to my Tomcat server, and this is the URL I should give in my Jenkins job. So what it will do, it is going to build on the slave system, then it is going to deploy on my Tomcat server, apply, save, and build now. Okay, it's failed. Let's see why it is failed. Sorry,
Maven doesn't exist. Maven part.
where does
Maven,
it showing?
last third line from bottom.
Yep. Okay. So the error is Maven home directory doesn't exist. Why? Because, yeah, I know this error. So this is, we have set up under slash opt Maven. In our Jenkins system, the path what we have specified is slash opt Maven, right? Because in our Jenkins system, Maven is running under slash opt Maven. Same thing here also, we need to rename our Maven server path. Currently it is running on slash Apache, Apache Maven 3.6.3, right? So let's rename it, or I can say, I can move it. Okay, sorry, copy it. CP minus R this location to just Maven, so that it looks for the libraries over here. Just give with sudo Okay, so what I'm doing is I just copied this one into just Maven directory. Why it is saying that /opt Maven is not there? In our Jenkins configuration, we said that Maven is available under /opt Maven. Okay, manage Jenkins. If I go here, global tool configuration, under global tool configuration, we said that Maven is available under OPT Maven. It is available on the Jenkins master in the same location. But whenever it comes to the slave, it is not in the same location. So we need to copy it into this location. And also we need to change our Maven, what I can say, environment variables. So environment variables we have changed under uh, profile dot bash underscore profile, right? So go to root user cat dot bash underscore profile. So vi dot bash underscore vi slash sorry dot bash underscore profile. So we just need to change it to rather than opt apache. So Apache Maven and version, we are just changing it to this version location. Okay, that's it. Now I can able to execute my job without any issues. And let's go and execute our job one more time and build now. And now you can see here it could able to searching for the pom.xml. Yes, I think now it is able to clone and execute the job. Yes, it is successfully created the var dot web app project dot var, and also it deployed on the target system. So if I go to my slash, this is the path, right? So slash web app dot var, you can see the whatever we have deployed on this system. And if you see your slave system, in the slave system we are working under opt Jenkins, right? Under opt Jenkins, let me clear the screen, and you can see here maven agent.jar has been created, and maven interpreter and maven interpreter commons. And also if I go to workspace, we can see the two jobs now, that is maven slave slave maven job, and here you can see pom.xml src and a target. Under target we have the our var file. So this is how we can run jobs on our client systems as well. Any questions over here? That's all for today, and we'll again meet on Tuesday.